Thank you so much for watching Real TV Films. We're here at the Kings and Queens event. I'm your host, Tia Barr. I'm joined with David Bianchi, who has some incredible projects he has to come talk to me about. How are you?
I'm great, and thanks for having me. Big shout out to the show, and I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, we're happy to have you here for this wonderful art event tonight. What inspires you to be an artist?
Well, I am an artist. I mean, I'm a writer, I'm a director, painter, poet, lover, madman, actor, not necessarily in that order, but yeah, I'm all those things. So I actually do abstract contemporaries myself. So I see the world through art. And so that's kind of the tie-in as to actually why I'm in this seat. Is a new piece that I wrote, directed, and produced, and edited, and did everything. And it's a short called Screams that's told entirely in spoken word poetry. That's a sort of experimental narrative about the injustice of the American government basically abducting children from their parents at the U.S.-Mexican border. I remember when I was a child, I would ask my mom to leave the light on and the door open down the hall, just in case I would hear the wind or a broken branch that might fall, or the rattle of a window, or a shadow standing tall, climbing up my bedroom wall and scaring me at night because I was a child. I was so small. It was a comfortable feeling knowing that the light was on and I could slightly raise my voice just in case something ever went wrong, but nothing ever went wrong. But I could always sleep through it all, having all the comfort of knowing that my mother and my father were on the other side of the wall.
Yeah, nobody thinks that's right. Nobody's going to agree with that, and if you do, definitely you're out of your minds.
It's the sound of children's screams tearing through an abandoned Walmart hall, and the sound of chain link fences and stomping boots and aluminum sheets covering them all. I don't have a mother or a father today that I can call. I went poopy and potty in my pants 3 times today. No hablo inglés. I can't explain it all. It's the high-pitched screams and terrors that keep me awake. ¿A dónde está mi mami y mi papi? Estoy solo, no sé por qué. En mi corazón y en mis pesadillas te busqué. Estoy solo, no me toques. Tengo miedo, suéltame. No tengo nada sin mi mami y mi papi. I'm a 5-year-old kid.
So that's a very heavy subject. And I think that it's good that you brought some vocal attention to it, because I watched your piece and it's very in-depth and very to the point, informative, and it lets people know this is real, this is what's going on.
Mama, can you turn the light on and open the door down the hall? But there's no one to listen. And this is a sad time that we make America great. That on this day, children are suffering from lifelong post-traumatic fate. Can you hear the children sobbing? Echoed loneliness down the hall. Trump said they're an infestation. Most of them are 3 feet tall.
And it's important to get as many voices out about that. And you also have this project tied in with another few stories that you'd like to tell. Tell me how this is incorporated with the other stories that are going to be tied in with the overall vision of this project.
Well, I mean, look, Screams is just more about, like you said, it's just about continuing to awaken the conversation. Because, unfortunately, because the Trump administration is so volatile that the news cycle is so, the algorithm of the news cycle is so peaked and so valleyed that people are forgetting this is happening right now. Like, even right now, they are under a deadline by the Supreme Court to get these children reunited with their families, and it's not going to happen. They're going to blow the deadline. And so,
why isn't it going to happen? Because of politics?
Well, because they never had a plan in place to actually reunite these children. And
right.
So I think that it's our job, or at least I took it as my job as an artist, to figure out a way that I can continue to raise the bar in the conversation so that we as an American public don't forget. Because just like you said, I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat, if you're okay with separating a minor from their parents with no money and no food and then putting them in a caged box, you're not on my fucking team. Yeah. You're not on fucking humanity's team, all right? Let's just get it straight. So I think that we need to unite as human beings and just be reminded as intimately as we can that this is happening.
And it's disgusting when art has to be inspired by such a foul subject, It's interesting how we're here at an art show for kings and queens, and we have all these beautiful pieces that are inspired by true art, but art can go both ways. It can be inspired by something beautiful and also something very ugly.
Well, yeah, and I mean, historically, if you go all the way back to the Renaissance days, I mean, art has always been inspired by tragedy. And I mean,
But also beauty, because the stories here are told by love, which is
absolutely.
interesting.
And, you know, I'm a globally known spoken word poet. And so, you know, spoken word poetry at a social level is essentially the side effect of the underlying social condition. See, because we need to have injustice to give ourselves something to write about, right? And I mean, hip hop is also an example of that. Like, we have hip hop that is basically social hip hop. It's really about the underlying condition and the problem. So the narrative is the response to the issue. And so as a visual artist and as a public figure, I think that I've made it my responsibility to keep the conversation alive.
Well, we appreciate that, and I think that more artists should definitely take the initiative of using their voice and speaking out about important subjects that affect everybody.
Yeah, and one of the things too is that, you know, me being like, I'm Afro-Latino, so, you know, I speak in English and Spanish in the piece, but I also communicate it completely through spoken word poetry, which is an art form that most people aren't in touch with. But when you hear it and you see it and you experience it and you hear the children's cries that are underneath my voice and you hear the story that I tell, which is basically being comforted by a mother and a father when you go to sleep. The simple fact is that we now live in a world where having a mother and a father is unfortunately a luxury.
Yeah.
And it really is a luxury, and these children, as far as under the age of 5, going minors 17 and beneath, don't have mothers or fathers, and they will suffer from post-traumatic stress for the rest of their lives as a result of this behavior.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate, and I hope that definitely we see a change soon with the amount of voices that are standing up and expressing that this is not going to work for especially the American people. As far as any race or any country, it's not going to work at all. So thank you, David, for standing up. Also, let's, on a more positive note, speak about some of your other projects that you might have coming out or you're working on.
Sure. I was on season 2 of Westworld this year.
Oh, congratulations.
Thanks.
Wasn't that one of the shows that was nominated today?
Yeah, I've been nominated many times.
Yeah.
Got the opportunity to work with Sir Anthony Hopkins and Jeffrey Wright on that show, which was absolutely incredible. And, you know, Jonah and Jonah Nolan, as well as Animal Kingdom Season 3, as well as Shooter. I've got an appearance coming up on Shooter, and I was also on Unsolved.
Is Shooter a New York show? What is
Well,
What's Shooter?
Shooter is
Is that a new
US,
show?
no, it's the USA show that Ryan Phillippe is at the top of. And then I'm in production on my 5th feature called Catalyst, which is directed by Christopher Folkes. I'm a writer, one of the lead actors, and also one of the producers on this particular feature that will release in early 2019. So it's a renaissance right now, and it's exciting to be surrounded by art, to be surrounded by you, to be surrounded by real TV films, and, you know, and be surrounded by people that really inspire me. And I feel really lucky to be able to do what I do and you know, be an artist and raise awareness about things that matter.
Well, David, we appreciate your passion, and we look forward to seeing all the upcoming projects that you put your passion behind and keep on producing and getting the word out to speak about. It's important. So thank you for joining me, Mr. Bianchi. I'm your host, Tia Barr. Thank you so much for joining us here at King and Queen's event and watching Real TV Films. Bye.